Okay.
Okay, so the intention is just to have a beautiful experience here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into, I am recording, so I'll just edit this part out. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Global Party 2017, Healing from the Inside Out. I'm so glad that you're all with us, and we are kicking off this whole event with laughing all the way to abundance. Laughing your way to abundance. Just laughing your way to abundance. Imagine how great that feels. And this is with Risaria Langley in the United Kingdom. Even feel that, United Kingdom. We're having a global party. It's such a great way to start off everything. So in being present to all the joy that comes into your life, we have a beautiful piece of music that we're not going to be playing right now because Risaria is going to open it up with singing. So hi, Risaria, how are you today?
Hello, I'm great. And some of these little songs that I sing when I'm doing my comedy routine come to me in the shower, because I like to have shower songs that sort of uplift me to start the day. And I used to sing things like, oh, what a beautiful morning, which is great. But this year, suddenly, I'm getting songs come to me that are just bubbling up inside me. And it just feels great. And when I was in Edinburgh, I was performing on the streets, busking, as part of the Festival Fringe. And this song I'm going to sing now, which I just think of as a shower song, I had about 20 people just suddenly come up and start joining in, tapping their feet, singing along, clapping. And it's just, I feel so fine. Yes, I feel so fine. Feels my body, oh, in my body and mind. In my body, yes, body, spirit, and mind. Yes, I feel so fine. Yes, I feel so fine. In my body, yes, in my body and mind. In my body, yes, body, spirit, and mind.
Oh, that's so delightful. Can you record that? And it can go, it could be the top one hit. Imagine if everybody started their day with that much joy and those powerful words. Those are awesome. I'm feeling better already. Woo.
Yeah, and it's good. It's like gets your body going in the morning. It's like woo. And I've been listening to some Abraham Hicks things talking about music and how powerful it is. And music is so strong, and and when it makes you laugh, because I've been finding I'm looking at other music these days, because I used to get bogged down in songs that I realized were more bluesy or about when my lover left and things like this. And I thought, this is all very well, but it doesn't make me feel better. And so I'm looking at ways of raising my vibe, so I'm feeling better. And comedy and laughter and music just help it bubble up.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, everybody has had that experience when you're feeling happy. You're so light in spirit. And I always go back and I think of a child, right? When you look at a little toddler and they're usually happy and bubbly and they're joyous and they're singing, and the kid songs that come, that play, they're so lighthearted.
Yeah.
And we have to come back to that state of being, because that's truly our essence. And you're helping everybody to do that through laughter and music now. You're just multi-talented.
And it just feels good. I'm doing this because it just feels right. I just feel better doing it. I feel really joyful. And for me, this is abundance. This is abundance when you're feeling bubbly inside, you're feeling satisfaction, you're feeling eager. All this is an abundance of good feelings. And I think we sometimes forget, we think abundance as money in the bank. But that isn't necessarily the case. I don't think there's any reason why you can't be happy with lots and lots and lots of money in the bank. That's fine. but lots of abundance in laughter and good feelings is so good. And I have another morning song that I was making porridge, and I make porridge quite a lot.
Right.
And I tend to put different things in it. Sometimes I put turmeric in, or this morning I had it with cocoa in. I love a chocolatey taste sometimes.
But turmeric.
Oh yeah, it's lovely, and it gives it a lovely golden color.
Okay.
And I'll mix up sometimes I use water, sometimes I use milk, or almond milk is delicious.
Right.
And I find that it's actually better the slower I cook it, though sometimes I'm in a rush, so if it's as fast as I can get it done. But this day the porridge I made was perfect, and it just came to me that, oh my God, yes, you don't need to do, if you just do one thing perfectly, it affects you, it affects the whole world. And so I started my porridge song, and it's each day at dawn I get along, I dance along, I sing along, I make the morning porridge for the world. And if I think it doesn't matter if I get up at all, a little voice just says, it does, it does, it does, it does, it does, it does. Get up and make the porridge for the world. So I sing along, I zing along, I ping along, I bring along the joy to make the porridge for the world. So come sing along, come zing along, come dance along, come bring along some joy to make the porridge for the world.
Awesome, because the littlest things, right, as you're saying, most people just make their food. And I mean, many people have heard about being mindful and being present. But for me...
And some people just eat their food.
Yeah.
They don't even make it.
Yes, that's true. But the concept for me versus being mindful versus being joyful allows this sense of freedom and more possibility, which is what you're talking about, is the world is abundant. So you allow this abundant feelings to come through you, which do allow you to be more freer and create your bliss, right?
Yeah. And porridge is one of the most basic foods. Sometimes I make it with just oats and water,
right,
and a pinch of salt. But it can be one of the best things. It's so nourishing, but it's how you approach it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like any task in life.
Well, you approach your tasks, every task, I'm expecting, with that sense of awe and joy and excitement, enthusiasm that it's new. It's a new moment. Yes. And, it's taken me a while to learn this because I was brought up with the Protestant work ethic. Well, and the spiritual teacher I was with used Gurdjieff's thing of work. Uh-huh. But I'm finding that more and more, if I follow my bliss and do the jobs that don't seem logical, I've spent 3 days this past week in working in the garden just through the sheer pleasure of it. Mm-hmm. And I can feel my body, every cell's going, oh, yes, this is good. We like being exercised in this way. And I'm having some compost delivered this evening so I can plant bulbs. And I just feel so great. Yeah. But I'm following my bliss, whereas I was having a family party for my son's birthday yesterday, and a little bit of my mind thought, shouldn't you be doing some of the prep for this? And I just thought, no, I'm following my bliss. And there was still time for me to enjoy making the cakes. Because I said, I'm just doing cakes. It's going to be cakes and coffee. I'm keeping it simple. I didn't want to do a big meal so they're so full they don't enjoy the cakes. It's like having your cake, your dessert before your main meal, right? Like it's like you look at things differently.
Yeah.
And you also are recognizing that abundance is in each moment, right? Because time is a man-made thing.
Yeah. Time is just an illusion. Man has created time and divided the day up, and more I'm finding I'm doing things at totally different times, like I would be planting the bulbs this evening. And sometimes I have days, or rather I have nights where I'm not sleeping. And it's okay. I'm okay with it. Sometimes I just go and watch the sea from my back door at night and watch the harbour lights. And it just gives me such satisfaction.
Yeah. No, I remember, I think it was 2012, early in 2012. There was just something that was waking me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was like in the fall before everybody's talking about December 21st. And I was actually, my daughters and I, we would go out because they were young then, but it would be like we would go walk the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning. There was just something that called to us at that particular, and it went on for about a 2-week period. And it was just like, wake up, and it was like, go outside now. And I just follow. Like, that's what, to me, I've learned that when you're in that state of joy and bliss and you're connected, that everything happens perfectly. And it keeps you in this state of constant abundance, because everything is always happening for your highest and best good.
Yes. And this last week, I've been waking up sort of about 4 in the morning, which has been great because it means I have time to have a shower and get dressed and walk down to watch the sunrise.
Beautiful.
It's only 15 minutes, but I actually like to feel I've had a little bit of time to come to before I go out. And it's not a habit. It's just when I feel, I feel the move to do it, the call, the inspiration. And this is the difference between motivation and inspiration for me. Sort of when you're inspired, it's like the breath, the breath of life. The breath of the life force is flowing through you and moving you easily and effortlessly. And the work I did in the garden this week was amazing. I'm borrowing stuff and lifting stuff and thinking, this feels good. And realizing I've gone out for an hour and I've spent 4 hours doing things. And feels really good.
So when you've been seeing the sunrise lately, has the sun passed on any good jokes?
The sun hasn't, as yet this week, passed on any jokes. It's just, but when I was in Scotland, I wasn't waking so early, but I found that I had a 10-minute walk past the fields to the bus. I was very fortunate. I was staying at a friend's cottage in Edinburgh. And it's in Edinburgh City, but it's actually in a field overlooking the sea and by wood.
Talk about abundance.
Yes. And I found that I was just inspired to start rehearsing my little songs. And so I'd sing these, and I'd find the horses and the sheep would just suddenly like alert and look up. And it was really, really great. It felt so good. And I was usually wearing a bright green velvet shirt I have, which normally stands out. But in the countryside, it means you're invisible because you look like a tree or a bit of the hedge. And so the cars would come whizzing round the corner sometimes. And I'm there sort of in this bright green shirt, and they're thinking they're just brushing past a tree. So I realised the trick is to wear black, because black looks like a pothole. And they avoid the potholes.
But, yeah, I can see those horses, and the cows going, hey, where is that beautiful voice coming from that's making it so cheery in the mornings? Yeah.
Yeah. And the things that happen every day are just so, it's having that joyfulness. And yesterday my family came, and I was so fortunate because As with most families, there's usually a topic that gets everybody going and complaining.
Yes.
And I realized this morning that I was in the kitchen when the topic came up, and I could hear it go, the mumble in the background, and I just thought, yay!
I'm in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen. I can ignore it. Hey! And by the time I'd gone back in, they'd exhausted it. Yes!
And you know, I believe that's part of because you're so joyful, right? So
Yeah.
when you're so joyful and happy, the negative conversation can't stick to you, right? It has to sort of be held in a container until you leave. And then the negative conversation will always find somebody, to talk to. But when it disappears, that's how
it just dissipates, yeah. Yeah, it's great.
So if that's the kicker, if you want people to, that you think are being negative and you don't want to hear it anymore, you just need to get in more joy, sing the porridge song, find your happy shower song, start to see the beauty and the laughter in life.
Yeah, and it's so funny because when we started recording this interview, the electrician turned up, and I very carefully thought I'd scheduled this talk, this interview, for 11 o'clock this morning. And it was only when I looked today I realized I'd made that. It was right in the middle of the possible appointment, because you have to give them a sort of 4.5 hour slot.
Right.
And sure enough, he turned up right slap bang in the middle. And what he'd come to fix turned out wasn't broken.
Huh?
It was just that I'd had an electrician out before who said, "Oh yes, this is completely kaput.
Right.
You can't use this heater. It's finished." And he came and he said, "Well, actually, it runs off the central heating, but you have to switch the electricity on to get it working." And so he said, "I'll just test it for you to make sure." And he did it. And he also tested the extractor. I said, "The extractor fan has never worked since I came in." And he opened it up and he said, "It's working perfectly." And I said, it's because I'm so used to noisy extractor fans. This is totally silent. It just works away effectively in the background with no noise at all. And I don't need to switch it or anything. It's just there. Really. And I thought, this is a bit like in life when things are running smoothly. You don't need to have any noise. It's just there. And I thought, how abundant am I?
You're laughing your way to abundance. Yes, you are.
Yes. And I know I was thinking of getting an electric towel rail, but I don't need to. I can just put an ordinary towel rail under this heater and it's fine.
Yeah. Like for me, that is the essence of what is happening now in life, is for people to realize when you tap in and tune into your joy, right? What makes you feel blissful. And each of us are unique. So something else makes us each laugh. And something else makes us, music inspires us. But it's when we're following our inner guidance and we trust it, then we really realize that everything is taken care of. Just like a child, they don't wake up and going, are you going to feed me? Are you going to clothe me? Are you going to have enough money? They just are experiencing life like a 2-year-old, grabbing everything. And when you and I and others are experiencing that same area, we're back into that bliss, that sense of abundance, that everything is there, and lots of laughter and joy.
That's it. And when I was in Edinburgh, I found that when I was performing, I kept having this, it was very much my vibration affected whether people were drawn to me and stayed or went away. And when I was just being natural and feeling naturally joyful, they'd all flock around and join in.
Right.
And when I started to think, oh, right, now I need to tell some jokes, and then they just went away. And I thought, yes, I can feel the difference. And one day I went and I was thinking, oh my goodness, sort of there were only, and then I realized there were 20 people had stopped for my song. But at the time I was going through the drama of in the last 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I saw this man and he was, and I saw this figure and I thought it was a really well-dressed mannequin in the department store. And I was right in front of it when he moved. And I just said, oh my, I thought you were a mannequin. I thought you were a model. And I said, you just look so, and he just started to burst out laughing and I was laughing. And he was a very handsome black man in a very smart security guard a suit, sort of a not in your face security guard. And he just collapsed onto the stairs, crying with laughter, with his head in his hand. And I thought, this is abundance. This is laughing your way to abundance. It felt so good.
Yeah.
So good. And it didn't matter that he hadn't been in the street. It was just there, the spontaneity of it.
You did it to me the last time.
Exercising those muscles.
Exercising those muscles. I smile a lot, but when it's like, ha, ha, ha. You start to realize why you have a jaw. And it's not just for eating.
No.
It is. Oh, I like how you take the everyday moments, right, and allow us to experience a new perspective that we can open up to see it as joyful.
Yeah. And it's like just before this, I was on another call with a friend who was talking about how her marriage is ending. And she was getting into a bit of a drama, but within 2 minutes, we're just laughing uproariously. And we were both really excited and happy. And I said, do you want to focus on that? Or we can focus on this? And said, let's focus on this. Let's focus on feeling good. And I said, and she said she's been thanking her I'm calling him her ex, because they've outgrown each other and he's vibrating out of her life. And this is great when it just is ease and flow. We don't need to make it difficult. Yeah.
I honestly feel that it's just like a tide, an ebb and a flow, right? And sometimes things are revealed and you get to decide what you want to do with them. But it's always good things and good blessings are always there. If you look like A is that the universe is working for you, that joy, you can be happy and joyful and have fun. And door B is life is a struggle and miserable and you got to do things and all the things that so many of us screw up believing that we had to work our way to get there.
Yeah.
And when you pick which side, like I pick and you pick, we pick this follow your bliss door, you start to realize that things continually line up and you get these new inspiration. I love the way you described that before. It's not motivation. It's not motivate, get your to-do list. We're going to do this. It's just a natural inspiration that bubbles up inside you.
Yes. Yes. And it was funny because a friend said to me something. What was that? Oh, I was telling her about how I'd been to see the Dawn about 3 times this week. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't feel the need to go every day, and she said, no, you can have too much of a good thing. And I said, well, is that can you? I don't know that you can, because I said, that's what we were brought up believing, but I don't think that's true anymore. I think we have a capacity for more and more good, fun, enjoyable abundance of blissful, happy things. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be drama and dramatic. I realized that I can hear the sea. When I open my windows, I can hear the sea, except when it's calm. And on Sunday we were at the beach, and we live by the North Sea, right, which is very dramatic. I mean, my daughter was saying, because my daughter's a classicist, she was saying that the Romans wrote how amazing the tides are here, because they go they're just such a huge change. I'm not sure how much, maybe 10 meters. It can be really, really dramatic, the difference in height. And when I went to the Baltic, I said, isn't this a lake? I can't see any difference in the tides because I wasn't used to another kind of sea. But the sea on Sunday was so calm and it was beautiful. And we just never seen the North Sea like that. I think because we get so used to the drama, we don't notice it, but it's just as beautiful when it's calm.
Yeah. The same, like I'm right by the Atlantic Ocean, and there are times when I can go out there and it's like, is it a lake? You know, like it is so still. It's you know, it's just a different feeling because the waves are still coming in, but it's peaceful, like just totally silent. And then, you know, the other times is shh, and you're surf. But I feel that is, everybody has that opportunity to live in their best whole new world, right? That's why I sort of call that, you know, my page, is because it can get good and it can get gooder in that sense. And it can get gooder. It's like it can get great and it can get greater, and it can get, because it's always expanding the universe, resonating with what's in your heart and what you choose to experience. So this inspiration just keeps flowing through you. And you are doing such a beautiful job sharing these gifts with us. Thank you.
Yeah. And one of the things was, somebody said, oh, have you always been a comedian? And I said, well, I realized that I've always had this capacity for getting people to laugh, but I've never highlighted it. I've never felt a need to say, hey, you're laughing at my jokes, or you're laughing at, because I think sometimes people get it, sometimes they don't, and that's fine. But now I'm just taking such pleasure in it and thinking, yes, let's just do this. And just creating fun things, fun times, or just milking it, you know, seeing something fun and making the most of it.
And you make it in good. What I love about it, every joke that I've ever heard, or your stories, they're always in a wonderful, positive, enlightening light. You know, it isn't you know, like I'm just going to go there with comedy. And I have to tell you, every time I see wildflowers or gardens now, all I think of you, I just think of you in the garden party.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because a friend, part of me was thinking, is this funny? But it actually brings people pleasure. And one of my friends sent me a picture of a cushion she's decorated with. It's a flower that of her mind, really. Right. And she said, this to me is the Peony, the Kim Kardashian of your garden story. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's inspired her to create this this flower. And that is just great. And the 3 young girls, when I was in Edinburgh and was telling the flower story, these 3 teenage girls sat down on the street, cross-legged, in front of me to listen to me talking about hearing the rosebuds crack open. Yeah.
No, they're just beautiful. So where can people find you these days?
On my website, I put on where I'm appearing or how to get in touch with me. I'm available for weddings, parties, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, or just having a few friends around, just to have some fun, at risaria.co.uk.
Beautiful. Okay, so is there something you'd like to send us off with?
I'd like to send you off with? Oh, let's have another song, the porridge song. I just really love the porridge song. And it was so great that it was what inspired me. It came to me just before I went to Scotland, and I thought, perfect. So I'm going to New York in October, so I'll be busking in New York. And
at Washington Square. Washington Square is where they can
Washington
find
Square.
you. And what dates? What dates in New York?
I put that on my website. I'm there between the 4th and the 11th, so I'll need to work out when I can be in the square.
Right.
And I'm sure I'll have more songs, more shower songs, breakfast, lunch, and dinner songs.
Well, you know what would be great is if people could actually put in the comments there are some of their favorite shower songs, right? And we could start this whole shower conversation. What do you sing in the shower that starts your day off with joy?
Or even give us a snippet of it. Yeah. I would love to hear your shower songs. That would be great.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us today and kicking off this Global Party 2017 Healing from the Inside Out. I think you're all feeling more joyful and ready, and I just ask you to set an intention that you're going to have an even more joyful day as you go out there and spread the love, spread the cheer, and notice what you're noticing and follow your bliss.
Great. So, shall we all together?
Okay.
Each day at dawn I get along, I sing along, I dance along, I make the morning porridge for the world. And if I think it doesn't matter if I get up at all, a little voice just says it does, it does, it does, it does, it does, it does. Get up and make the porridge for the world. So I sing along, I zing along, I dance along, I bring along the joy to make the porridge for the world. So come sing along, come zing along, come ping along, come bring along the joy to make the porridge for the world. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.